Today, we're talking about two things as a subject. First is sudden sadness, which is a real thing, and the second thing is the power of belief. All right. Welcome to Contemporary Speaks. I'm Stephen, and we're going to have a wonderful podcast. Today, we're talking about two things as a subject. First is sudden sadness, which is a real thing, and the second thing is the power of belief. So we're going to have a wonderful podcast. Text somebody, send this podcast to somebody who needs it. Let's go ahead and get started. Ben, y'all go ahead and take it away.
Get ready for some positive, encouraging, inspiring information. But before we jump into this episode, I'd like to invite you to join this community to hear more episodes that will help you become healthier emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. All I want you to do is click on the subscribe button. We love your support, and it's incredible to see all your comments, and we're just getting started. I can't wait to go on this journey with you. Thank you so much for subscribing. It means the world to us.
Everybody, come on. If I keep coming back, where is the wisdom I left? Why can't I remember who I'm meant to be? It's one in a million times I choose life. Take me back in time, this time I'll get it right. This world is so confusing, this world is so amusing, this world is not my world, making me forget my other life. This world conceals the light, this world worships the night. This world is not my world, something just doesn't feel right. Just doesn't feel right. Just doesn't feel right. Who built this place? Social conformity. Who made these rules that change with every generation? Why do they mix up the truth? Stirring lies in the food. Help me find the way before I despair and go astray. This world is so confusing. This world is so amusing. This world is not my world, making me forget my other life. This world conceals the light. This world worships the night. This world is not my world.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. How does everybody feel today? Yeah. We're going to have a wonderful podcast. I want to thank everybody who joined us in-house today. Definitely thank everybody who's joining us online. And also, if you are subscribed to this channel, we thank you for that as well. And if you share this, we are just really grateful for all of that. And so we're talking about two things today, sudden sadness and the power of belief. And so we're going to have an awesome podcast. So I want to start with this scripture, which is very important. This comes out of Psalms. It's Psalms 42 and 11. And so it says, "Why, my soul, are you downcast?" And this is a very interesting way how this starts. It's a question to self. What's going on with self? What's wrong with you right now? What is going on with self, right? So I love this because it says, "Why, my soul, are you downcast? Why so disturbed within me? Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise him, my Savior and my God." And so really this is this concept of what's going on with you. Don't you realize that you have a God that you serve? Don't you realize that there's someone who can save you? Don't you realize that there's someone who is on your side to help you, right? And so this is a very important kind of thing. When you think about sudden sadness, I want you to kind of think about this. It's really the feeling sad for no reason at all, right? There's nothing really particular that has actually happened. You just are washing the dishes and bam, it hits you, right? Or, you're brushing your teeth and bam, it hits you. Or, you eat a meal and while you're eating your meal, bam, it just hits you. And it's sort of sudden. It comes where? Where does it come from? We don't know. And you almost feel trapped by these sad emotions when they kind of come on you like this, right? And here's the thing that I want us to look at. Sudden sadness makes you search for the root cause. So really what happens with sudden sadness, we start to kind of search. What's the root? What is going on? Why do I feel this way? Like, why do I all of a sudden feel this way? Like, what is really going on? And we start to think, I don't know about you, but you start to kind of go through your mind and be like, hey, did I take my vitamins today? Did I drink enough water today? Did I get enough sleep last night? Did someone upset me? Am I still angry because of what happened here or something like that? And so you start to search within yourself to try to find out what is the cause? Why are we here? Why does it feel this way to me, right? And so here's the thing that I really need you to understand about sudden sadness. It's very important that you understand this. Sudden sadness is really a multitude of things. It's not really linked to one event. Typically, when we have sudden sadness, we want to link it to one event. We're trying to pinpoint one thing that is the actual cause of our sudden sadness. When in fact, our sudden sadness is really occurring because it is a multitude of events that are all now meeting up in one place. So it could be the concept of, you're feeling regret, you're feeling loneliness, you're feeling shame, failure, lack of purpose. And it's all these things. It's the accumulation of the sum of one's life. And it all shows up in an instant and in a moment in your mind and brings on sort of this sudden sadness. Now, there could be a trigger. There could be a trigger. And the thing I want you to understand about sadness is that sadness changes. Like what triggers sadness can change. When you are somebody who deals with sadness or sudden sadness, it could be different things. You dropped your cell phone, now that triggered it. Or it could be, they told you don't come into work today, that they were overstaffed, and that triggers it. Sudden sadness can come on you based on how you are as an individual, okay? And so when we understand this, the thing that we have to understand about sudden sadness is that it's not the end of the world, that we can still fight back, right? And I know with me, this is a great topic because really this week, I was kind of sitting and I was asking the Lord, what should I be talking about? Like, what should this podcast be about? And not really knowing, what God wanted me to address. And I think the best thing that I find is very interesting is God gets me to address things that go on with my own personal life. And so sudden sadness hit me for no reason. And it was really kind of weird and odd because everything's well. If everything is well and everything is going well, where's the sudden sadness coming from? And so it kind of hit me this week, sudden sadness, and I started to process, and I started to go through, did I take my vitamin D? Did I get sunlight today? And all these different things, and really could not really find a real cause of it. And so this is kind of very interesting as well, because I would say this right here, fighting back this sudden sadness is kind of the key. Because with me, I don't really enjoy, and I don't know who does, I think that there is this thing where if you are depressed daily, that you kind of crave those dopamines. You're kind of looking, no matter how happy the situation is, you have to bring in sort of this gray cloud into your life and look at the negative, or always try to go to this place because you're craving these negative dopamines or these depressive dopamines within your mind. But I don't really crave that. I love to be happy. I love to be excited. I love to be up. I love to be upbeat. I love to be encouraging and things like that. But when I find myself in this direction, I said, oh, this is what we need to talk about. And so the Lord helped me find this subject through allowing me to experience this subject in my life personally, right? And so I want us to think about this as well. Fighting back this sadness, the first thing is, when you feel this way, don't lose heart. I feel like that when sudden sadness comes on to people, they really lose heart quickly. They diagnose themselves as being a depressant, I'm depressed, or they just simply, go lean right into this, something's wrong with me. And so what I want you to understand is that when it shows up, don't lose heart. The first rule, number one, don't lose heart. The second thing is to fight back by increasing a couple of things in your life. When you're feeling this sudden sadness, go for the sun. Go for natural sunlight. Hopefully you're experiencing this during the day rather than at night, so you can do something like that. But head for natural sunlight. Go out into the natural sunlight. Drink water. Because when you're experiencing sadness, sometimes you can blame. You can start to play the blame game. And yes, maybe something was said that rubbed you the wrong way, but you're now assessing all of your depression and all of your sadness onto one person. And we're blaming that one person rather than taking responsibility and saying, let me change my mood, let me go in another direction. So go for the natural sunlight. Go for the water. Go for the high pH water. Like, go for, drink you a couple of glasses of water. Put you some salt in the water. Honestly, these things are like, sometimes their sadness can be linked to a chemical imbalance. It could be linked to what your body's craving at the moment that you could be lacking. And the other thing that I would say reach for immediately is 20 to 30,000 IUs of vitamin D3, right? With the K2 vitamin, right? Vitamin D3 with the K2 vitamin. Reach for 20 to 30,000 in that moment. A lot of us are vitamin D deficient. And what's interesting about vitamin D is that your body produces vitamin D. It's the only vitamin that your body actually produces. That's how essential vitamin D is to the human body. But your body can be deficient in vitamin D, and you can be sort of in this constant sort of like depression or sadness state because you're just not getting enough vitamin D. If you work indoors, it could be like that. If you're working inside a lot, then you need more vitamin D versus if you're working outside and things like that. So that's things to reach for. And then here's the third thing that I would suggest as well when you're dealing with sudden sadness is have someone to talk to. And I wouldn't recommend that you talk to everybody. I'm not just saying you just call 15 people calling you up today. I just really want to tell you. But I'm talking about have someone that can lend you sort of the information you need to help you shift your mood. So I'm saying you could talk to people sometimes, but at the end of the conversation, they lend no kind of help to you. So you just kind of vent it to them. You've kind of talked to them, and you kind of have asked them some questions. Just say, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm feeling kind of sad. This is where I'm at. But they don't lend any advice. They're like, really? Okay. Oh, well, I was sad too. I was ready. I was sad too, and I was ready to. No. Talk to someone who is actually willing to throw you a rope and get you out. And so you'll learn those kind of people in your life. You learn those people that after I speak to these people, I feel better. And so, it doesn't have to be a psychiatrist. It doesn't have to be a doctor. It doesn't have, if you need to go to that extent, you can go to that extent. It doesn't have to be, but it could just be someone who knows God and someone who can help you turn to the goodness of God and the things of God, and that can remind you that he is with you and that he is for you, and that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So it's just somebody that you confide in. I think that sudden sadness and depression basically is sort of like one of those things that like to come into your life and hide. And I feel like for some reason we seem to be embarrassed about talking about it, right? Like, oh, we're strong, I'm good. Nah, I ain't got no problem with that, you know. But here's the thing that you probably don't realize. You are, and I just want to say this very, 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 very clearly. You are a frequency of joy, or you are a frequency of despair. And we feel it. Everyone may not call it out, everyone may not say it, but you could just feel those moments where when you're when you're dealing with someone, when you're talking to them, that they're just in a different place. Now, whether they want to acknowledge it or are in denial, that's different as well. But you are constantly yielding something to the world, constantly. Through your energy, through your tone, through your attitude, you're constantly yielding something and communicating something to the world. And so there is a thing that you may lack. And that thing may be joy in the moment. And so it's okay to go to someone that may help you bring up your joy. And I love this Psalms because this Psalms is really jumping into the question of why are you downcast? Why are you disturbed? What's going on with you? Turn to the Lord, hope in God. And so these moments are real. But here's the thing that I want you to look at as well, right? What I would like you to look at is that happiness requires intermission. Okay? Happiness requires intermission. And those intermissions must be unhappiness. Because it magnifies what is when you're happy. So you must have those moments of intermission. You can't be happy all the time. I get that. And I'm not saying or suggesting that you should just constantly just be, unless you just on some Valiums or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm not suggesting that it's normal to just always be happy. But I'm also suggesting that it is not normal to always be sad and always to be in despair and to always feel like something terrible is going to happen in your life. This is not normal either, and you shouldn't feel like that as well. And so the thing is that, yes, happiness does need intermission, but there should be intermission that makes sense. That makes sense, okay? Which is, happiness becomes boring if you're happy all the time. But the intermission should make sense. Maybe there was a death in the family, so I am taking a little bit of time to grieve. Maybe there's a reason, and I'm saying the intermission should be based on logic, reason, right? It shouldn't just be, I'm sad. And why are you sad? I don't know. I don't know why I'm sad. I don't know what's going on. Because then this can seem like depression, right? And we don't want to live there. We don't want to live in that space. There should be things that we understand why we are upset, and we understand what is making us sad in the moment. Are you with me on that? So here's another thing as we look at this. Psalms 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. And what you have to understand is, I love the Bible verses that talk about the joy of the Lord is my strength. There are moments, and I don't know if you've ever experienced these kind of moments. There's moments where I have overwhelming joy for no reason at all. Like, I'm just completely happy. I've done nothing different. Haven't even taken my vitamins yet. Haven't drank any water yet. Like, haven't gone to the sun yet and went outside yet. Hadn't done any of that. But I wake up and it's like this overwhelming, bubbling over inside. If I was any more happy, if I was any happier, I would burst into bubbles and float away. Like, it's like, and in those moments, I find myself fighting the joy. I find myself in those moments saying, oh, what's going on? Wait a minute, I'm too happy. Like, wait a minute, this don't feel right. I get nervous. Start getting worried. in the most blissful, joyful moments, it bothers me, it disturbs me, it makes me think, whoa, what I'm so happy about. And I start to search in my mind something to not be so happy. It's almost like sadness is a form of therapy in a way where I feel that it grounds me. And I don't think this is healthy. And I don't know if you do this, but I'm trying to talk you through this to say that I don't think this is healthy because it's okay to be happy. And I feel like, and listen to me, and I look back on my life, I feel like too much fear has been instilled in me. And I don't know about you, but it's based on the type of parents you have. Like, I'm not the type that would skydive. I'm not the type that's going to bungee jump. I'm not the type that's going to, I don't want to ride the Goliath. I'm just not the type, right? Because the way that what was instilled in me is that something bad is going to happen to you. And, I think that this is sort of a dangerous way to raise children. It's definitely a dangerous way to always put sort of a fear in your child's mind about everything in life, right? Like, don't jump on the bed. Why? You're going to fall off and hurt yourself. Don't jump on the couch. Why? Not because I shouldn't jump on the couch, but because you're going to fall off the couch and knock your head. And so it was a constant building of fear in me. To where now, even in almost half a century on the planet, over half a century on the planet, this fear is still instilled in me. So the Bible's so true when it says, raise a child up in the way they will go, because when they're older, they won't depart from it. And so I'm finding myself fighting and trying to break these phobias and these fears that have been instilled in me through my rearing, through my upbringing, through my childhood. And it's very interesting because I think that a lot of times we instill fear in our children without knowing it, that something is going to happen to you. Something is going to happen to you. Something bad is going to happen to you. And let me help you out. It kind of gets me into the next subject, the power of belief. The power of belief is very important. And here's the thing that I have to really explain to you. Genesis 11, from the very beginning of the Bible, God kind of sets the stage for this right here. Genesis 11:6 says this right here. The Lord said, they are one people with one language. This is only the beginning of what they will do. Now, nothing they plan to do will be difficult for them. These people come together with one mind on one accord, and they build a city. And they're building this city where God says, let me go down, confound the tongues, because if the people ever get together with one mind and one agenda and begin to speak the same language of victory and power, assurance, there will become a people that can achieve anything on the planet based on what they believe. You would think that God could just say, it's not going to work. No, God's like, the only way I'm going to stop this is I'm going to have to change their language. I'm going to have to come down into the group and let people speak differently so they can't communicate the same. You understand that? The only way that anything can be stopped is if we fall out of agreement and we stop speaking the same language. Belief is so important. I need you guys to understand that. Belief is so important. You can do anything if you can first do it with your mind. Listen to what I'm saying. You can do anything if you can first do it with your mind. If you can't do it with your mind, you cannot do it. And I think what happens is we try to do things that we don't believe in our mind are possible. It really amounts to a lot of our prayer life sometimes. We're praying about things that we don't really believe that God is going to deliver us from or allow us to receive. And if he does actually do it, we're completely shocked. Like I prayed, can you believe it? He actually did it. And I want you to think about that. Your success rate is not up to anyone other than you. Your success rate is not up to anyone other than you. We put our success rate in the hands of others. Here's what I think is powerful about Genesis 11:6. Their success rate really was not really up to God. Their success rate was already active. It took God to come in and intervene to stop the success rate. Do you understand that? They were successful. God said, look what they're about to do. Like, they are going to succeed in this thing that they're attempting to do unless I go down and stop it. Sometimes you think a person is blocking you. They have no power to block you. You are blocking you with your own belief system. Psalms 36, 5-7 says this right here. Your unfailing love, O Lord, is as vast as the heavens. I think sometimes we grapple with being loved by God. I think we are baffled by the concept that we are actually the children of God, like Jesus, like Yeshua said we were. Like, yes, I can say that he is a child of God, that he is the Son of God. But when it comes to me believing that I am a child of God or that you are a child of God, we struggle with that. Why is that? Why do we struggle with the understanding that if you are a child of God, he will provide for you and he will open up the windows of heaven and he will lead you into good pastures and all these things because you are his child? Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Why do we struggle with that? Why do we struggle with that? Oh, I'm going to read it. Oh, Lord, your love is as vast as the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches beyond the clouds. Your righteousness is like the mighty mountains. Your justice like the ocean deep, right? You care for people and animals alike. O Lord, how precious is your unfailing love, O God. All humanity finds shelter in the shadow of your wings. Now look at that. Even though we may think, oh, this is a pagan society and so forth and so on, and it may stand to be true, at the end of the day, it is God who is over every pagan society, over every nation, that is allowing every nation to thrive the way it has thrived, right? He must allow it. He must allow it. So it's very interesting that when you look around and you look at people and you look at belief systems, it's very interesting that are we waking up? Are we reassuring ourselves that God is for us and that God is with us? Are we reassuring ourselves that God is for us and God is with us? Think about what I'm saying. That he is for us and that he is with us. Here's the thing I want you to kind of look at. To achieve, you must believe. And I really need you to grab a hold of that. To achieve, you must believe. To achieve, you must believe. You're not going to achieve anything if you don't believe. You're not going to be effective at playing an instrument. You're not going to be effective at anything in life if you don't believe. Belief is so strong, right? What you believe about yourself is slowly manifesting in your life. That means that God can set you up to be successful and put you in a good position to succeed. But if you don't believe that you belong there, if you don't believe that you can hold down the position, what you believe internally will slowly begin to manifest itself in your life. And the position that God gave you will be taken away from you. Here's the evidence. Moses. Moses was given a position by God. He says, you are worthy of this position. You are going to lead them. This is the goal, to take them to the promised land. Not to take them to the edge of the promised land. But I've chosen to take them actually into the promised land. But Moses gets to a place where he sins against God. And God says, because you sinned against me and I see that you did not believe. This is a term that God used, that you did not believe and you struck the rock. This is a term that that Moses had a bit of unbelief. And God's like, I'm not going to carry you to this place in your unbelief. It doesn't work that way. So God can give you the position, but you can forfeit the position through your unbelief. Let's go a little deeper into this concept. Let's go a little bit deeper into this concept. Fear is the enemy of belief. Fear is not your friend. Fear is the enemy of belief. And fear comes and it says a couple of things to you. The first thing that fear says is that you're not enough. It makes you fear that you're not enough, that you're not good enough, that you're inadequate. It's the first thing fear does to you. It works on your psyche. The second thing is that fear brings in a doubt of others loving you. You start to doubt that others love you or care about you. And this becomes sort of a fear that makes us withdraw, and makes us pull back because I feel like I'm not loved. And fear comes to destroy that love in you, and it comes to also destroy your own potential that God has already placed in you. Here's the thing I need you to see. Belief cannot be weak and temporary. It must be strong and permanent. Listen to what I'm saying. It must be strong and permanent. It cannot be weak and it cannot be temporary. That means that you cannot just believe for a season. If you believe it through and through, you speak it. Now, and here's the thing that you have to realize is that a lot of people are talking things that they don't believe. And you feel it in the frequency of their voice. I can't tell you how many times I'll ask somebody, are you good? Are you all right? And they're like, yeah, I'm good. But you feel it in the frequency, it's different. The voice is saying, yes, I'm good. But the face and the frequency and the energy and all of this is saying, no, I'm out of place. You can ask them a second time, are you good? I'm good, yes. You can ask them a third time, are you good? Yeah. Yeah, I'm good, man. Why? Then they want to put it back on you. You good? But you can feel it. You don't feel good. You're constantly giving off a frequency and you don't feel good. You feel like something's going on with you. You're not here all the way. But if you want to stay in that secret place, because depression loves to hide in secret places of the mind, secret places of the heart, right? Your belief is self-evident. It transcends the person holding it. It transcends the person holding belief. That when you actually believe something, it will transcend you. You don't have to speak a word about what you believe. You ain't got to talk it up. You ain't got to make a big whirlwind about it. It will transcend. It'll just come out of you. Like, I could tell that person believes in themselves. I could tell that that person believes they have a gift. I can tell that that person is working in some power. It transcends you when you hold true belief. You don't have to convince nobody. Here's the thing I want you to look at. When you receive power, yet you disbelieve you possess the power. When you receive power, yet you disbelieve that you possess the power. I want you to think about what I'm saying. It really goes well with Matthew chapter 17, verse 19 through 20. Then the disciples came to Jesus, Yeshua, privately, and they said, why could we not cast it out? Why couldn't we cast this demon out? Why couldn't we cast it out? So Jesus said to them, because of your unbelief. Because of your unbelief. For assuredly, definitely I'm telling you, I say to you, that if you have the faith as a mustard seed, a small amount of faith, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. This is God speaking to us through the Son. He is already telling you that if you have faith and doubt not, to the point of just having it as a mustard seed, it has the power to move not only mountains, but even minds. Listen to what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. What we lack or what we fear is true belief. Think about it. We lack and we fear having true belief because we think that belief can fail. It cannot fail. It is impossible for true belief to fail. So you will not believe and fail. You will not believe truly and sincerely and not succeed. Belief is the ability to succeed. It is impossible to believe and fail. Are you with me? So they had received power from Yeshua. They received power from Jesus. He gave them the power to cast out the demons. Yet they did not believe they possessed the power. No one can help you in a situation like that when you don't believe. Who can help you? You need to cry out like this one man cried out to Yeshua. Help my unbelief. I'm struggling with this right now. I think there's nothing worse to empower someone who then doesn't entrust in the power given to them. And this is exactly what happened. We know this scripture as well, Mark chapter 6, verse 5 through 6. This is the NLT version of the Bible, and it says, and because of their unbelief, he couldn't do any miracles among them except to place his hands on a few sick people and heal them. And he was amazed at their unbelief. Then Jesus went from village to village teaching the people. A lot of times God has already set things up to work and operate. I love that the Messiah says, I've come to give you life and that you might have it more abundantly. So why are we walking in this despair? Why are we walking in this darkness? For no reason at all. Right? Your beliefs are based on your understanding. So if your understanding is limited, guess what? Your belief will be limited. So your beliefs are based on your understanding. You better get a new understanding. Okay? Because your belief is limited to your ability to understand. So two takeaways. The first one is this. When sadness comes, push back. If there's no reason for the sadness, push back. Start with the natural, which means sunlight, the vitamin D3, the water. Start with the natural, salt in the water. Start with that. And don't leave out going to God in the Spirit, saying, Lord, help me. I'm heavy for no apparent reason. Is there something you need to tell me? Is there something you need to show me? Is there something I'm not doing right? Speak to me. So when sadness comes, push back. The second thing is this right here. Believe better and life will be better. Believe better and life will be better. That's all I got. Love you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Band, take it away.
Boy, took you to your movie show. The picture was a drag. I thought you would be giving me more. You gave me what I already had. I gave you my mind and my time. You gave me propaganda. I'm through playing your game. I got a new agenda. It's time. Come on, get on your feet. For What you waiting for?
To the Lord,
Will you ever stop?
chase the light for more.
Come to the mountaintop.
Yeshua HaMashiach.
People, what you looking for?
Visit heaven's door.
What you waiting for?
To the Lord,
Will you ever stop?
chase the light for more.
Come to the mountaintop.
Yeshua HaMashiach. I don't get this song.
What are they even singing about?
Everything is just fine. I love this world.
I don't understand why they don't just conform.
They're gonna start a revolution. Last call, wake up. Sleepers in Egypt. Blow the shofar, cause the wolf is in the yard. Come on, rise up. This world is not our home. Children of God, come out of Babylon. Last call, wake up. Sleepers in Egypt. Blow the shofar, cause the wolf is in the yard. Come on, rise up. This world is not our home. Children of God, come out of Babylon. Last call, wake up. Sleepers in Egypt. Blow the shofar, cause the wolf is in the yard. Come on, rise up. This world is not our home. Children of God, come out of Babylon. It's time for revolution. It's time for a solution. It's time for revolution. It's time for a solution.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching and being a part of this community. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. You're going to get weekly videos on building a growth mindset, cultivating grit, and unlocking your full potential.